Today's lesson is on sets. A set is a collection of objects whose contents can clearly be defined. The objects in the sets are usually called elements or members of the set. There are three ways of describing a set: word description method, roster method, and set builder method. So in word description method, this describes the set in written or verbal sentence. For example, set A is the set of weekdays. In set roster method, this method lists the elements inside a pair of braces. Or these are an example of what a brace looks like. So, for example, set A is a set of weekdays. We could open up a brace and then we could write each of the days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then once you get to the end of your list, you close the brace. So everything listed in the braces with commas between them are members or elements of your set. Now the set builder method uses both word description and the proper set notation. So if we have set A equals, use the set notation, the brace, and then we have an X such that, and that's like a line, just a straight vertical line, and we read that such that X is a day of the week. And then you close your braces. The way we read this is set A is the set of all elements X, such that X is a day of the week. So these are the three ways that you might see sets in our chapter here. The next thing we're going to talk about is the empty set. The empty set, or the null set, is another way of saying the empty set, is a set that contains no elements and is written by either the open braces and then the closed braces with nothing in between. That's like a set, but it's empty, so it's the empty set. Or you can have like a zero with a line through it. That is another notation for the empty set. So here are some examples of an empty set. The set of all X such that X is a number less than 3 and greater than 11. Well, there aren't any numbers that are less than 3 and greater than 11 at the same time. Therefore, this set has no elements in it, and it is an empty set. The next is in word description method, the set of all triangles with 4 sides. Well, by definition, triangles don't have 4 sides, so there are no elements of triangles with 4 sides. There just isn't any, so therefore it's an empty set. Or if you just have the two open braces, that's another example of an empty set. Now, please note that the set of 0 is not an empty set. The set of 0 is the set that contains the number 0 and therefore is not empty. Similarly, 0 is not an empty set. 0 is a number, whereas this symbol, which means empty set, means a set with nothing in it. That's not quite the same thing as the set with 0 in it. Okay, 0 is an element, 0 is a number, and therefore it is not empty. Next, let's talk about set membership. We have some symbols that we're going to use in order to denote set membership. So the symbol, like a C with a line in it that kind of almost makes it look like an E, is used to show that an element is a member of the set. So, for example, 4 is an element of X such that X is an even number. Well, is 4 an even number? Sure it is. So we can say 4 is an element of the set of X such that X is an even number. Now, the symbol, that C with a line in it, but then a slash through it, is used to show that the element is not a member of the set. So, for example, 4 is not an element of the set of X such that X is an odd number. Is 4 an odd number? No. So therefore it's not an element of. So let's go ahead and practice this. We have some true-false questions. 12 is an element of the set of all numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up into 14. Well, that dot, dot, dot means everything in between as well. So you have to follow the pattern of natural numbers between 1 and 14, and this would be true. 12 does lie in that set. Okay, true or false? 11 is not a member of the set of 1 to 9 of natural numbers. Well, that's true. 11 doesn't belong in there. So that notation of not being an element of is true. Next, the set of 3 is an element of the set of 3 and 4. Okay, this is false. The reason this is false is because you can say 3 is an element of the set of 3 and 4, but the set of 3 can't be an element of another set. When you're using the element of, you have to be just using a plain number, not with a set notation, is an element of a set. So you have to use the right notation there. Okay, the next one, 8. Is 8 an element or not an element of the numbers 1 through 10? Well, it is, so I'm going to put the element of notation. Is R an element of the set of A, B, C, and Z? Well, is R fit in that? Well, I don't see R in that one, so we're going to put the not an element of. R is not an element of the set of A, B, C, and Z. Is Monday an element of the set of X such that X is a day of the week? Well, is Monday a day of the week? Sure it is. So I'm going to use the is an element of notation there. Next, we're going to talk about sets using natural numbers. Remember that natural numbers are the counting numbers. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Often in font, that's used bold. If you're trying to write it out yourself, what we use often is an extra line on the N, the vertical part of the N on the left side. So the N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 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 forever. So our first example, we have the set of X such that X is an element of the natural numbers and is less than 10. So when I want to build that in roster notation, we're talking about natural numbers that are also less than 10. So I can start with 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. What's the last natural number that we're going to have before 10? Well, that's 9. So that's our roster notation. You could have also written all of the numbers out and then close your brace. That's okay too. Either one of those is fine. For our next problem, in roster notation, we have the set of all numbers from 50 to 70 that are natural numbers. So the way we're going to write that in set builder notation is we open a brace and then we say the set of all X such that we know X has to be a natural number, and we know that it has to be from 70 to 50 inclusive. So if I start with 50, that's less than or equal to X, which is also less than or equal to 70, and that would be a correct set builder notation for that particular set.